All right, enough optimism. The Jets.
You couldn't wait. You could not wait to get off of that.
This is it. This is it for Rodgers and Devontae Adams and the coach. And you need a new GM. And you obviously need a new owner, but that's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
There was a big athletic story about how weird it is with the owner and his kids being involved. And it was just over and over again. The data confirming, the anecdotes confirming, the eye test confirming that this is one of the most memorable shit shows in a while. You predicted it before the season. It's been even worse than I think you would have imagined.
I would not have predicted 4-13. I would have said maybe 7-10 and they missed the playoffs, or 8-9 and they missed the playoffs.
Last year they were 7-10 with Zach Wilson.
Yep, they were 7-10 with Zach Wilson 2 seasons in a row. And they're about to go 4-13 probably with Aaron Rodgers and basically great health. They have not had a lot of massive injuries. They lost CJ Mosley for a while. They've had some health issues on the offensive line, but like Rodgers hasn't missed a game. Breece Hall's only missed 1 or 2 games, I think. Garrett Wilson hasn't missed a game. I mean, their best players are playing and they stink. They're terribly coached. Aaron Rodgers is obviously an awful influence on the organization. I still don't really understand what the fuck he's talking about in public, like 85% of the time. I have no idea why he's grinding axes the way that he is, considering how poorly he's played. His stats are really good, and they're very deceptive if you've been watching the games, which I unfortunately have been. He can't move as well in the pocket, and he's so careful in his desire to not make a mistake that he often doesn't take chances where you need to have an exciting offense. So it's just not fun to watch what should at least be like an entertaining offensive team. They've sucked on offense this year, so it's been horrible.
The body language doctor has not liked anything he's seen.
No, but they got to get him out of there.
That point that you made earlier, though, not being able to understand what his agenda or his point is in some of his interviews, I think is a great point, because sometimes I'll see transcripts or there'll be some clip that goes on Twitter and it's like Rodgers says this on McAfee, and I watch it and you almost wonder, is this a bit? Like, what's he doing?
I think he's just really online and really like responding to the critics, but we don't know who the critics are because we don't see his mentions, the mentions of his mind. I mean, he just seems like a really weird guy right now.
Well, that's especially to be the guy who's supposed to be the calming force, the driver of your race car, when you have somebody super erratic who now seems like he's clearly hoping he doesn't have to come back next year. And seems like he's getting a little bridge burny, so they'll maybe get rid of him.
Can I suggest a theory to you?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So let's look at like the last 10 years of professional athletes. We've had more and more great stars play longer and longer into their careers, right? We've got Tom Brady, we've got LeBron James, even like Federer played for a very long time, like a lot of great athletes who extended their careers for health reasons or what have you. But a lot of those people have gotten like more and more odd in their public persona. And one way to think about it is like being famous for a long time makes you kind of crazy, right? It makes you paranoid. It makes you, makes you entitled. But I'm about the same age as Aaron Rodgers, and like I'm getting weirder. And I'm getting like riddled with anxieties. And there are certain things that I'm like, my body is breaking down and I'm getting bent out of shape about it. And I've got a family and I've got different kinds of responsibilities. So it's like when you're 27 and you're locked in on your sport and the thing that you're doing, it's because you don't have anything else going on in your life. Yeah. When you get older and like your parents start dying and you start thinking about your legacy, whatever the hell that is, you get weird. And Aaron Rodgers just seems like he's been going through a midlife crisis for like 4 years. And we keep thinking he's the guy from 2011 in Green Bay. And he's not. He's just some middle-aged guy who just happens to be one of the best throwers of the football of all time. And so it's been fucking annoying that the one time we got a genuinely great quarterback, it happened to coincide with him going through a personal emotional crisis. And we're watching it transpire in real time.
It's a good theory. Well, I wonder how much of that ties into COVID and how weird so many people got just being alone for 9-10 months during COVID and getting pushed to be more and more online. And like, if you didn't have a family around, like, and you're just by yourself a lot, like what were the ramifications of that? We both know people in our lives that just post COVID just felt like they were slightly different people.
Yeah. Look at CR. He's completely fallen apart.
Yeah, CR's. I mean, I wasn't even going to mention that. CR's, CR's now a maniac. Um, Now, I don't know how it plays out, but I do feel like there's some end game with him where he's not going to retire, and he clearly thinks something is happening for him next year somewhere, and I just don't know where that is.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. He probably should retire. He can clearly still play. I don't know if he can play at a high level.
I don't feel like he can move in the same way anymore.
He can't.
The thing that's notable this year is he used to be so great at evading pressure and buying himself 2-3. So he just can't do it anymore.
No,
and as you said earlier, like it doesn't seem like he wants to make mistakes. Like he's going to finish the season with 26 touchdowns and 10 picks, and on paper it'll look great. But he only does throws that are like these safe throws down the sidelines, these like timing catches, or like these quick things. And you rarely see him just being like Josh Allen gunning it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to watch kind of what the contemporary superstar quarterback is now relative to what his play is like and what the Jets quarterback play has been like for the last 50 years. That's the thing is like if he finishes with 26 and 10 and throws for 3,800 yards, that's a top 5 quarterback season in Jets history. Like that's how pathetic the team is, even though he has been terrible. So
right.
It's not ideal. I feel like, I don't know, like if the Cardinals trade Kyler Murray, is there a 1-year Aaron Rodgers thing that could happen there? You know what I mean? Like there feels like there are some spots where you could comfortably see him in a warm weather situation, having one last hurrah, but I just don't want it to be in New York.
I think Brady has ruined our ability to look at all of this stuff logically, because quarterbacks are supposed to hit their late 30s and just get worse every year. And then Brady, it just didn't happen with him. And I've said this before, but it's very similar to the LeBron thing. Like the LeBron thing is just really unusual. We're not going to see a lot of people just play until they're 40 and be able to put up 25, 10, and 7 and just bowl through guys, even though they've had a cajillion miles. So I don't know. I think this is what it should end like. This Kirk Cousins, same thing. You should hit your late 30s and you should start becoming worse at quarterback. It's too hard to play.